Check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. So, how to actually make using creative visualization work. So, real quick, when I say creative visualization, I'm talking about the process of you visualizing in your imagination whatever it is that you want and seeing yourself having that. Imagining yourself actually participating in that reality in your mind. So coming up with a short, like 30-second movie clip of seeing yourself, not in seeing yourself doing it, but actually going into your imagination and pretending that you're doing it or that you are at your destination of whatever it is that you are wanting to bring into your reality. Right? As well as being able to invoke the feeling that you would have if that reality was actually real. All right, so seeing the image in your mind and feeling the feeling. Once you are able to do that, then it's like you still have to make it work. Meaning, this desire still has to be plugged into the subconscious. The most common way to do that is through repetition, meaning you gotta meditate on that image and feeling consistently over and over and over and over and over and over, which is it can be very challenging as far as on the average person's mental fortitude and having to concentrate the mind on one thing for lengths of time. So I'm not here to talk about using that method. A great method to use is falling asleep in the state of your wish being fulfilled. Again, the most common problem with this is that of it takes a lot of mental effort to focus on one thought for a long period of time. The mind likes to wander. The mind likes to jump around. The mind likes to travel. So it takes practice and it definitely takes effort when it's time to deliberately concentrate the mind on one thing. So when you sit down at the desk to take a test, most people, the test, it's like this. Here's the game. The test isn't actually about the piece of paper and the questions that you're answering. Really, the test or the challenge is to actually sit down and hold your concentration on one thing for a long period of time. More than anything, that right there is what determines if you will fail or pass this test. If you fail in the test, let's say you say, oh, I concentrated and I was focused, but I still failed the test. That means because you didn't have the knowledge, which means you didn't apply the effort beforehand to sit down and concentrate in order to study to get the answers that you needed. Either or is coming back to a person's ability to be able to concentrate for a lengthy period of time, which makes falling asleep in the state of your desire being fulfilled is very hard for most, because it requires that concentration. And by the time that the person actually falls asleep, you're not even focused on your visualization anymore. You already, by that time, the mind has resorted to its normal thinking patterns. So by the time you actually fall asleep, you are falling asleep to thinking about wondering if your boyfriend cheating on you, or wondering about the electric bill, or what have you. But falling asleep to the thought of your desire being fulfilled is extremely powerful way of handing it over to your subconscious mind in order for your subconscious to turn it into physical reality. So I say all of that to say this, that the best way to accomplish this method is whenever you wake up in the middle of the night, whenever you wake up out of sleep to roll over or use the restroom, or for whatever reason, whenever the mind is in that drowsy state. Because the whole point, all we're trying to do is maneuver around the conscious mind so that we can plug directly into to the subconscious, right? So whenever you waking up out your sleep and you catch the conscious mind while the conscious mind has its guard down, while you're in that drowsy state, all right? While the conscious mind is still kind of foggy and not all the way there. It's not all the way on alert, right? So this is one of the best times to do it. Whenever you roll back over to fall back asleep, which falling back asleep is typically easy, right? So the whole point of this is now you don't have to hold that concentration for so long, because the mind, you're already pretty much in the mental state that you need to be in. The conscious wall is already down for the most part. So now you roll over to go back to sleep, and that's when you go into that visualization and meditate on that feeling of it being true. And when you do it, you're not doing it trying to keep yourself awake for a long period of time. Do that. You're letting yourself drift off to sleep as you normally would. But now you are drifting off to the thought of being in that reality. Still takes some practice. Still may have to do it over and then over again. But the probability of you breaking through to the subconscious that way is extremely more easier and likely than for you to lay in the bed at night when you're about to go to sleep and try to meditate and hold that visual and feeling for a long period of time until you actually go to sleep. So that's the shortcut to that. If it's a check that you're trying to manifest, and also again, you know, as always, you gotta, the desire, it needs really to be something small, or I should say something that's in reach, right? I've practiced, I've done, I don't know how many meditations where I done spent so much time meditating on a fucking $1 million check or to be rich and all that shit. Like, at that point, you really just wasting time. Like, let it be something that's within reach, or something that's just barely like outside of reach, but it's like you're right there, close enough within reach for it, or you just need like a little nudge. You just need a few things to go in your favor for it to come true. Something like that. Like, anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that.